Welcome back, everyone. Episode 17 of the school bus build, Orion Homestead Projects. Behind me, I've got Marv, my amazing RV, and I have been working my butt off trying to get this thing done. We've got a lot to talk about on this particular episode. 12 volt distribution is almost done. I've got all the equipment installed. Got some dry fit on appliances. Got some cables run to support DC to DC charging. Had some setbacks, had some disappointments, but I got a lot of accomplishments, so I'm excited. So let's go ahead and get after it. Let me show you what I got done this past week and give you some insight on what's coming up. Alright, well, welcome back, everyone. I have some excitement, I have some disappointment. This is a roller coaster ride on this particular episode. It has been an extremely busy week. I've been working at it all day. It's after 5:30. Actually, I'm about 15 minutes late to starting my own video. I had a plan to start it at 5:30 and it's like 5:45 now. It's Sunday, May the 4th. I think that's right. Anyway, so there is a lot going on. I got a lot done. I got a lot to walk you through and things that I did over the week. What I did yesterday, what I did today. I wanted to do a lot more on camera, but I did not have an opportunity because of various things. But it's time to catch up. It's time to walk through, and it's time to go and see what I got done. So let's take a walk. All right, so on Monday, I managed to get all my equipment laid out. I got everything installed. I did not do all the wiring on Monday. We're going to get to that, but I pretty much got almost everything in here and laid out. Got everything set up. One of the things that I did do is that I put my Servo GX right down here in the bright light. I had put it back there, and then I realized that when I did that, I wasn't going to be able to use the battery sensors for temperature sensors for the batteries. So I had to move it down here so they would reach. So I put it down there. I actually like it better there because it's much more accessible, and I really like what's going on there. So Monday, I pretty much got the inverter, MPPT, smart battery charge, the DC to DC charger. Sorry, I can't think. Got that in. I didn't do any wiring on Monday. I just got everything sorted out and set up. Then on Tuesday, one of the things that I did, if you notice down here, let me see if I can get down here a little bit better and show you this. But I got my, and it's pretty much the same as the other side, but I've got my ground bus bar for the ground side of the batteries. I've got my positive bus bar for the positive side of the batteries. The other thing that I did was I routed all of the cables that go in underneath here that'll drop down and connect to the specific batteries in there. When they go in there, they'll all sit right here. I'll have 400 amp hours, 12 volt batteries that'll sit in there. They'll all connect up. All the batteries already have marine rated battery fuses on top of them. So they have a 100 amp marine rated battery fuse on each positive terminal. The BMS that's internal to those is also 100 amps. So they're more than protected. They come over here. This feeds up, and just for a walkthrough. So I did this part on Tuesday, and I got all this set up. Wednesday I didn't do anything. I was a little bit stricken under the weather, so I didn't get anything done. Kind of recovered and got back to it on Thursday. But anyway, so let's start talking about the distribution and what I did on Thursday. So Thursday I did most all of the DC distribution that I could. I started out by laying out all my lugs, figure out what I had, and realized that in very short order I did not have what I needed. So I needed some 4/0 by 5/16 lugs because I had run out. I used what I had left, and then I needed some more, so I ordered some. They were supposed to get here on Saturday. They got here on Saturday, but yours truly screwed up and ordered 4 AWG instead of 4/0. So I went back and quickly recovered and ordered more, and they got here today. So I actually was able to finish all of the main power distribution 4/0 stuff. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I see a lug that I missed, but I'll get that taken care of. But anyway, so the way this works is, this is the bus bar from the batteries. It comes in, it goes up, just like on the other side, it goes into the Redodo shunt for the batteries. From there, it comes up into the Victron smart shunt. From there, it comes up and goes over and goes into the Lynx distributor. Positive side comes off the top. I've got a 400 amp marine rated battery fuse there. It comes into here. Here, this is the emergency on-off switch or disconnect for the power. Comes up from here and goes into the Lynx distributor as well. One of the things that I like to do is I like to try to keep all the cables the same length, and I actually did a little bit of rough measuring and stuff. And it seems to me that I'm within like maybe 2 or 3 inches, so that makes me happy. But anyway, there's the lug that I was mentioning that I apparently for whatever reason missed. I need to come back and put one on there and get that connection done. I just saw that when we started talking. One of the other things that I did, and I went ahead and got my lights installed on both sides, as you can see. And because of the issues and challenges with this little flashlight that I'm using, let's change the perspective. Boom, lights are on. A lot easier to see. So Tuesday I got the battery cables in and got all of that done. Thursday I did most of the 4/0 distribution and whatever else I could on the other stuff. Yesterday I finished out a lot of that distribution that I could based on what I had. And today I did my DC fuse block down there and got that installed. This breaker right here is simply an on-off switch that will allow me to remove DC power from this without having to come into here and remove the fuse. So this is an 80 amp fuse right here feeding into this. This is a 100 amp breaker. So the fuse will blow long before the breaker trips, and if I need to turn it off for whatever reason, I just turn it off. Right now I've got it off for a very specific reason, because my little test battery is actually feeding power into the DC distribution block right now, which is why these lights are working. And so that's why you see the fuses. Power is coming in, back feeding off of this line. Put this fuse in to energize the entire DC distribution block. Put this fuse in to actually get the lights up here working. Got me a little switch, as you can see, on and off. The switch works. That was I missed putting the switch in and thought about it after the fact and had to come back in and add it. So there is my switch, and it turns everything on and off. One of the things that I do want to show you too is like, if you remember on the last episode, I was telling you I was using all this 14-3 wire. And one of the things that I did, if you come over here and look, so here's the wires that feed my lights in there. This is actually the other circuit that's going to provide power for lights in the closet. And so it's a single wire, but I'm getting 2 circuits out of it, so that's cool. One of the other things that I wanted to share with you is that I screwed up. I was trying to get all this working, which is why it's so late with me turning everything on. But I had everything hooked up. I checked everything. Couldn't get these lights to come on for the life of me. Couldn't figure it out. I checked my panel. I had ground and I had power. And I was at a loss. I was like, what the hell's going on? I checked. I had power at the switch. Everything was going on. So I took a break, walked away from it. Went to grab a smoke, sitting there, and then it dawned on me. I had the lights wired backwards. They're from China. In China, white is ground, black is positive. I had them reverse biased, and a reverse biased diode is like a big open switch. Came back in, did everything, reversed everything, got it all connected. I had to recharge my little battery, but once it got charged, I put it back in here, and boom, everything worked. One of the other things that I do want to show you that I did, and I'm actually going to implement as a permanent solution, and I did that to yesterday, is if you look, you can see that my dome lights are on. My dome lights are actually running off of this little battery, and they all the way back there, all the way up there, you can see they're all on, they're all running. So I'm going to do a relay where if the battery, if the bus is off, I can turn the dome lights on and off by using a switch, and they'll run off of my house batteries. As soon as I turn the key on and the engine starts, they switch over and they start running off of bus power. The only thing that I have to make absolutely sure of is that I do not have the switch up front on, but with it being on a relay, it wouldn't matter anyway. So I'm just making sure that I'm abundantly cautious with that. I've got all the wiring for my smart shunt in. I've got all my wiring for this shunt in. I've got my battery sense wired up as well. I've got power to my Servo GX. I don't have any of my relay circuits wired in over here. That's the next step, but I'm gonna get to that. One of the other, a couple of other things that are missing is that I ran out of wiring to do the ground for my smart charger, the DC to DC charger. It was supposed to get here today, but apparently it was too big for the mailbox, so I won't get it till tomorrow, so I'll have to finish that up. So I'll probably do that lug right there and do the grounding for the DC to DC charger. I do want to show you that I've got another ground block just like I did on the other side right here. So here's chassis ground from the inverter. Here is chassis ground from the Lynx distributor. This is chassis ground to my MPPT. This is the negative feed for my Servo GX. This is my chassis ground, and I got my chassis ground in as well, so that's all taken care of. The other thing that I did, I got my little power supply in that converts 12 volts down to 5 volts. I meant to do the other side and get it connected, but I forgot. I need to come back and do that. I'll do that real quick, but it'll come from here and plug in right there, if you can see it. I don't know if you can, but it'll plug in right there, and all the LEDs on my Lynx distributor will work as well. So that's mostly what I did for the most part in this area. So let's walk over to the other side and see what we got done on the other side. One of the things that I do want to share is that I made a very serious mistake, guys, and it would have cost me a ton had I not caught it. And I caught it by doing some research to try to figure out what I was capable of doing with the relays and things like that. But the way that I originally had the relays wired, I don't know if I can get a close enough view for you to see it, but the way that they have these things set up, if you look right there, you've got normally open, common, normally closed on both relays, relay 1 and relay 2. Well, rather than actually paying attention to design, I paid attention to convention, and in my convention, I assumed common was ground that would support operation of the relay. Boy, was I ever wrong. If I had not caught that, I would have basically, as soon as any one of those relays energized, it would have shorted 24 volts to ground right inside my servo on that relay. And I'm fortunate that I was doing some research and saw it and was like, oh, wait a minute. So let's run back through and show you how this works now. So here are the ground wires that I just connected right here off of both relays. I'm going to figure out something to do with those, but for right now, They're just completely disconnected. I don't need them. So I've got power coming off of 12 volt distribution that goes into the common of the relay. And then I've got a wire that comes off of the normally open side that when the relay energizes will provide power to a circuit. It's easier to see if we go to the other side. Here is my power input that comes into this relay on the common side. When it energizes, this is the power output that comes out of here, and it will come down and it will actually energize the relay right here. Now, what I had to do as well, so if you notice over here, I've got my common line that provides power into the relay, and then I've got my yellow line and my blue line. Both of those feed back over to the relay as well. So the yellow line is the normally closed side, which is what allows me to actually do the fan test with the switch, because it'll always have power, and if I turn the switch on, the fans will have power. The blue is the normally closed side, and when the normally closed side engages, it sends power out right here, and that will turn the fans on as well. So huge mistake. Got it all figured out, got it all sorted out. I need to do the same thing for the other relay though, like this, just so that I can make sure that everything is sorted out the way that it needs to be. This one is going to be a lot easier though, because the only thing that I'm going to use on this relay is actually an LED, so I won't have to. I've got power in and I've got power out. I just need to put another wire on here for the normally open component of it, so that I can get power out of that. And once I do that, then I'll be able to do the LED stuff that I wanted to do. I've got to do a relay on my MPP2 charge controller as well, so that I can control fans. What I may actually do is use the other relay over here to control the fans over there, but this has a relay in and of itself, and if I'm just using 4 fans to cool and blow air through there, I probably won't need an external. I just need a power source in. I won't need anything else. But got that all figured out. I do need to put this smart solar control device that I have right here on the MPPT on the other side. I haven't done that yet, but that's next on my agenda as well. So one of the other things that I want to show you is, let me figure out where I got to do it so that I don't screw it up. So one of the other things that I did was I actually got these mounting brackets that I have right here. This is what I'm going to use to mount my fans. And they've got, this is the fan right here. And then this came out of the lithium ion battery cases. And they use this to funnel the air down the center of the battery. So I'm using this in here. So this is going to be up in this area up here somewhere. I'm going to have a regular AC register vent on the outside of it so that you can't see that. But there's a lot of air coming out of here, guys. And these are 24 volt fans running on 12 volts, so they'll put out a lot more air. I may put a speed control on them just to, if I need to, slow them down so there's not so much noise. But one of the other things that I wanted to show you is, if you look right here, I've got this little red LED. And this is one of the things that I wanted to do, was I wanted to be able to know when my fans were on from the dash. So I got that figured out. I've got several different LEDs that I'm going to use. One of the things that I found is an LED that will actually output 5 colors, depending on what lead is connected. So I'm going to be using at least 2 of the leads, maybe more, to provide visual input to what's going on back here. Green will be tied to the relay normally open, so as long as the relay is not energized, there'll be a green light that'll light up back here and also up at the dash. If the relay energizes, it will change where the input to the LED is, and that would actually cause me to be able to have a different color LED. So I'll probably do that as well. So that's one of the other things that I did. I figured this all out on Friday. Got this all set back up because I wanted to test it and stuff. This switch doesn't work anymore because I've got all of the relay stuff wired. I'm about ready to take all of this testing stuff out and hardwire everything into final configuration and figure it out. Get it all done. Because one of the things I want to do is I want to start getting my batteries in here and getting some power to this. So, and the reason that I can do that is one of the next things that I want to show you that I did on Friday. Now let's take a walk and we'll go outside the bus and I'll show you what I did so that you can see what I got done that's going to allow me to get my batteries in. Alright, so let's talk about one of the next things I did. You see that red wire right there? That is actually the cable that comes out of the input side of my DC to DC charger on the 24 volt side. And I've got it running into this PVC to protect the wire. Got it running across the frame over there. Coming over here on this side. I got it running across here and then it goes into this one. Well, unfortunately, I ran out of cable. I got some 6 gauge butt splices and some more wire coming, but that was as far as I could go. I'm going to put a 45 on the pipe and then clamp everything down so it don't move. This one is tight as hell, but with this thing moving down the road and vibrating, it will move, and I want to make sure that I get it positively secured and fastened so that it doesn't go anywhere. Where my horns are over there, it's going to go into the top of the battery cabinet. That is the battery cabinet right there, and it's going to drop down, and I have marine rated battery fuses that will connect to the battery terminals to provide the DC power that goes back to the DC to DC charger. And this is the one thing short of solar that I need to get in place so that if I install my batteries, I have a means of charging them up out here other than AC power cord. So I got that done, got it in place. I'm waiting on wire, or otherwise this would be done as well. But I wanted to bring you up to speed on that. So let's take a sidestep and go to something that I did right before I started recording. If we come over here, you can see right here, I've got a cable coming down through the floor. Comes in, there's my chassis ground. I got my chassis ground from a 12 volt side connected. I haven't put the dielectric on it yet. I'm going to do that. I got everything painted. I'm kind of waiting for that to dry out and cure before I go putting that dielectric grease on it and sealing it up. Once again, I use this Liquidite and it worked great, bringing it through the floor. I'm going to seal around these holes. I've got a long laundry list of to-do stuff to seal under the floor when I start getting ready to start moving this thing down the road. But got my chassis ground in on this side. I'll take you back in the bus and show you what it looks like on the inside. Alright, so here we are on the inside. So here's the Liquidite coming through the floor. There's my chassis ground cable coming in. I haven't dressed this up. I've got some ideas on how I want to do that. One of the things that I had to do was I had to bring it back behind the kick plate area of the cabinets here. So as you can see, I started right here, drilled that hole. That hole didn't work because that put me right on top of one of those 1/4-inch steel cross member plates. Wasn't going to deal with that. I wasn't going to be able to bend this 4/0 cable around it or whatever. And then I moved over here to this hole, and this hole actually wound up going through right through the side of one of the channel rails that provide support under the bus, and I wasn't going to try to drill through that. So I moved it back, and here's where we wound up. Got a nice hole right in the center of everything. Got it drilled out, got the cable run through, comes up, goes in through there. This is the front of the cabinet right here. Comes in, comes up, and connects to my ground point that I showed you earlier where I have the chassis ground right there. So all connected already, all set, all good to go. And that's one of the other things that I was able to do. So wanted to bring you up to speed on that and show you what I got done there. One of the things that I did do as well is I got I told you earlier I got the ground bar in, but this is primarily for all the chassis grounds and everything else. So I've got my inverter coming in here. This goes up to the Lynx distributor right here. This goes up to my MPPT charge controller. This goes to my Servo GX, and this is my chassis ground input right here. They'll probably, by the time I'm done, there'll be more connected to that, but that's what I got going on. I've got this ground wire right here that comes in to the Lynx distributor, and then this power wire that comes in to this breaker and then comes out and provides power to my DC distribution block. This wire right here is because the way this is set up, it has a switched and unswitched side, and I wasn't going to do that, so I just ran a wire that actually connects both sides together. All of them are going to be unswitched so that the entire panel has power no matter what, because I'm not going to be doing anything where I need to be worried about switching it. So I've got a total of 12 circuits that I can run in here. I've got another one if I need it, and if I do, I'll bring it in here and add it. I need to run 2 max air fans. I got to run my hot water here. I got to run my stove. I've got to run my DC lights up front. Got to run my DC lights out back. So I may fill this up and may actually need another one. Depending on how many circuits I need, I may actually scale it down and get a smaller panel, because that one is fairly expensive and has a lot of circuits on it, and I'll have to figure out if I want to put it in for prosperity and expansion, or if I want to just provide enough for what I need, and we'll see how that goes. Guys, everything is a mess. I'm sorry. I wanted to get everything cleaned up before I started videoing, but I ran out of time. Like I said, I was late starting when I wanted to start, so I wanted to bring you up to speed on what I got done. In talking about some of the things that I have coming up that I want to do, is I want to get my alarm panels in. I want to get my LEDs in. I do want to show you one of the things on that and something else that I did as well. So let's walk up here. Look what I done got done, y'all. I added me a table. I got all my electrical components, lights, everything over here, wiring, all that kind of stuff all in one place. That way I know where it's at, and when I'm ready to install it, I just grab it and go. It saved me some time. Spent a lot of time cleaning up the bus. I mean, it's a mess now, but that's because I've been working, and I try to clean up at the end of every day so I don't have to deal with it. These are the battery fuses for my DC to DC charger sitting right here. Here's my lights that are going to be going throughout the bus. AC electrical boxes. My fans that I'm going to use for cooling inside the equipment cabinets. Got everything all set up here, ready to rock and roll. The one thing that I did want to show you, though, in the last episode I had told you that I wanted to try to figure out how to get my alarm panels up to the front dash. Well, I figured that out. So this cable right here, I have 100 feet of it. It's actually 5 individual cables inside of it. And yeah, right here. So there's 5 strands of cables inside of it. And I intend to basically use those. Black will be ground, and then red will be red light, yellow will be amber lights, and I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with blue yet, but I've got more than enough to run up from the equipment cabinet up to the dash and be able to have my warning light. So I wanted to share that with you. Here's another one of my fans. I'm getting ready to mount those. Like I said, all the stuff that I showed you that I've been doing with testing and stuff, that's all going away, and I'm finalizing all the wiring in the equipment cabinet so I can get my batteries in and then start testing things for real. So that's where we're at. So one of the next things that I wanted to show you is that I have been working really hard on trying to get everything in place so that I could do some dry fitting and validation and testing. So if you look right there, that's my microwave, guys. I built that cabinet, I slid it in, fits perfect, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. I'm really happy. So that's my microwave. Come over here on this side, there's my stove, got it in. I still need to line up, level up, square up, and fasten down the cabinets, but I put them in. I'm trying to get everything out of my basement and my bar so I can get that cleaned up because it is a mess. But got that in. One of the main reasons that I wanted to do this too is I needed to figure out where the wiring was so that I could run the circuits for the stove, hot water heater. The AC electrical circuit for the microwave will be easy. I'm getting ready to do that as well. I've got a lot of DC circuits that I need to run, and I'm going to start knocking those out and getting them installed. I think my next thing that I'm going to do is get my max air fans installed and running off my test battery, just so I can make sure that they work and that the circuitry does what I want it to, because I got one back there and I got one right here, and I've got some regulators because I've heard that the lithium ion batteries put out too high of a voltage, and they actually will fry the boards on the max air fans. So I've got some regulators that will control the voltage. The one thing that I'm trying to figure out is whether or not I want to put the regulator up here at the fan so that no matter what comes into it, it's always 12 volts out and has a short distance. Or if I want to just put it in the equipment cabinet and run it off the from a single wire off the equipment cabinet. But haven't made that decision yet. But the one thing that I do know is I need to mount it in a place where it can have a heat sink. So I would probably, if I put it up here, mount it up on this so that this could act as a heat sink for that regulator, because it does get hot. Anyway, that's what I've been working on. That's what I've got done so far. I had all this cleaned up, but now you can see it's a mess because I've been really busy working on getting all this wiring done. I had to redo my wiring in there. I'm going to clean all that up and get that all sorted out. Like I said, all of this test stuff now is getting ready to be gone, and I'm going to be doing final wiring, final configuration, final installation, getting everything set so that when I put the batteries in, I have powered everything and I can start testing everything, because I can put heat guns on temperature sensors to make sure relays work, all of those kind of things. So I am getting ready to rock and roll. The one thing that I'm debating that I think I might do is actually to be able to validate that I'm getting good solar charge control or solar charging on my batteries, is I may set up a lean-to array on the outside of the bus and wire it into the MPPT here for both the 12 volt and 24 volt side, just to make sure I'm getting good input and making sure that everything's working before I go doing a major install on the roof of this bus and getting all those solar panels in, and then find out something don't work. So that's one of the next projects coming up too, guys, is spending a lot of time on the roof getting my solar panels in, because that's one of the next things that I need to do to close out the electrical. So 24 volt side is pretty much done, except for some minor nitpicky wiring that I need to do to wire up my alarm lights and stuff. I need to put in all my relay circuits and stuff on the 12 volt side. That won't take very long. I'll probably get all of that done tomorrow on both sides and get that knocked out, fix that one lug there, right there. And if I get my cable, I'll be able to close out all of the DC distribution. 12 volt side will be done. And at that point, it'll be moving on, getting batteries in and start actually programming, testing, configuring, and making sure that everything works the way that it should. I don't want to put I'm really leery about the inverters and stuff, because I don't have all the circuits terminated or anything. I may get them programmed but leave all the breakers off and stuff, so I don't have to worry about any downstream power coming out of the inverters. And then if I need to shut everything off, I just use my emergency switch and just shut everything down. Or I can turn the inverter off with the inverter switch and still be able to run my DC to DC charger to keep the batteries up. If I have my lean-to solar panels, I'll be able to use those. I need to put my control panel on this right here. I've got it. It's over here somewhere in this mess, but I've got it. I need to put it in. But anyway, that's where we're at right now. It's been a extremely busy week, guys. I am not gonna lie. I did a lot of work. It's unfortunate I lost Wednesday because I would be much further along, but I'm really happy that I was able to dry fit my appliances and make sure that all of the all my methylator stuff worked, and that everything that I figured out was right, and it's all working. I'm gonna mount these cabinets permanently now because I've got my ground cable in for chassis ground. I just need to run my DC circuits for the power for the stove and for the hot water heater, and get the control panel for that in place. And I'm going to start nailing stuff down and getting everything final. I'm going to start working. The first room that is going to be finished is going to be the bathroom here, and that is going to be really soon. I need to do that so that I can put the valves on the water lines and close them off. I could put like the valves on, but I would have to cut them out and cut the clamps and redo it again anyway. So I'm just going to do it right, do it once. So I won't be water testing until I get that in. I need to come over here and I need to add more screws because I just basically just tacked this stuff up. I need to put a lot more screws in here. I think they said that they need to be every 6 inches on this stuff, so I'm going to do that. I need to take care of my ceiling stuff. Thankfully, I have a template and should make that easy. I got to figure out a way to close and waterproof the backside there where the wires are. This will be the only point in the bus where the wiring and all of that kind of stuff is not accessible. I am going to make sure that I have access to all my wiring over the entire length of the bus on both sides, everywhere except for the shower. So I did get my PEX clamps, by the way, so that I could take care of those fittings back there. I'm going to put my shower head in. It's going to go right in this area right here, and get that installed so that I can terminate those lines and get that terminated so that I can put pressure on the water system. I only have one real concern, and that's at the pump. The rest of it, we'll figure it out when we put pressure on it and see what happens. But and I think I had addressed that one little fitting problem that I had previously. But anyway, it's been a busy week. We've got a lot done. The table and stuff has made a big difference because I've got a huge amount of stuff out of my basement and my bar and got it in here, and I'm not trying to remember where I put stuff. It's all out here, and if I need it, I grab it and hit it, get it, and go. So I'm really happy with a lot of the things that I got done this week. There's going to be more. I think I'm going to close this video down at this point and knock it out so I can get it posted, and then we'll start the next one. This next week I'm going to try to do more video capture during the week of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it and things like that, as opposed to just doing a walkthrough at the end of the week. I don't like doing that, but got to do what you got to do. I got to get this stuff done. So that's where we are right now. That's what we got done. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you got some insightful information out of it. Please send me questions. Ask me anything that you want to know. If you want to see more detail, I'll do a special video to provide more detail on how I did something. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll make sure that I do my best to try to get it out there for you. But anyway, at this point, I think that we're going to call this particular video a wrap and move on to episode 18. Hard to believe. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. Hope to hear from you, and have a great day.